Hello, I'm Jamila Musayeva, an international etiquette consultant, author of etiquette books and pre-recorded online etiquette courses. In today's video, I'm going to be doing an etiquette analysis of different kinds of events, images, occurrences that I come across on social media or you, my beautiful audience, sent me on my Instagram via DM. If you haven't been following me on Instagram, make sure that you do. I'll link it here as well in the description box below. So without further ado, let's get started with some of the things we see online that needs to be analyzed from the point of good manners. The very first video actually goes to prove something that I constantly tell in all my etiquette courses, that no money can buy you class. It's not about how much money you have. It's not about how much power or status you have. Etiquette is something anyone can cultivate, anyone can learn, and it almost is free because, I do a lot of videos about etiquette on my YouTube channel that you get to see for free, but also it's something that comes with educating yourself. Anyone can learn to be good-mannered, just the desire that you have to instill in yourself that you want to be at your best behavior when you are out and about, and not just when you're out and about, actually when you're home as well. You have to cultivate this desire to be a well-mannered person. So, with long introduction, this little clip shows a Japanese prime minister who was caught on camera eating onigiri, and he has it at one large bite. Actually, when it comes to sushi, the sushi etiquette is that most of the sushi should be eaten with one bite, so one go. And usually in Japan, the sushi size is very, very small. So you can easily take one bite full and chew it and continue to talk. Whereas the American sushi that I've come across, and generally in Western Europe as well, sushi is much larger and you won't be able to have it at one bite. Usually you have to have two bites of it, especially the American ones. But here, onigiri is quite large, and you see that Japanese PM takes a full bite and his cheeks are stuffed with that rice, and he's obviously not able to properly chew it, or he's not able to communicate with people around him, and he's not able to chew it with his mouth shut, which is the number one rule we get to learn as little kids, that we have to chew with our mouth closed. I think this particular clip really helped me in my classes to show that it's not about the social status that you have or the wealth that you have that equals to being well-mannered. So again, this clip is for you for educational purposes as to how you don't want to look when you are out and about eating something. Make sure that you took a small bite, enough for you to chew with your mouth shut. Continue chewing, swallow, and then you're able to socialize with other people. Never talk with your mouth full. In contrast to Japanese PM, we have this video of a lady, I don't even know who she is, but she mounts the bike so gracefully, so elegantly. I couldn't have done it better or filmed it better than what she's exhibiting here in this video. She is wearing a long skirt. She gets on a bike. Obviously, at this point, if you can only get on a bike like that if you're biking really well. So first build up your skill to bike really well, and then you'll be able to get on a bike like that. But until then, wear jeans or leggings or shorts to get on a bike, shorts long enough for you not to expose too much. But until then, you build a skill to bike really well, then only you will be able to do this trick that she does. That I think you just have to watch and rewatch in order to learn how to do it properly. But she does it impeccably well. She gets on a bike so gracefully without making abrupt movements and without exposing anything as she gets on wearing a long dress. This video just proves a point that you don't have to have a certain wealth or status in order to look graceful on a daily basis. She is a lady. I don't know who she is, what she does, how much money she has, but overall, judging from the side, what I see, she's the most elegant lady on that street. The next video was sent to me by one of my followers, and she asked me what I thought about it. Of course, being a viral and funny video, I also laughed about it. I thought it was very cute, innocent. It's just a child who was not instructed by the parents nor by Pope to just take one sip. And it was because it's a childish behavior, we laugh about it. But in reality, if you think about it, it's not the guilt, but it should have been the responsibility of the parents or the Pope to instruct the child what to do with that chalice. So prior to walking into church, or the parents should have told her that you will be given this chalice and you would take a sip, or the Pope, while handing the chalice, should have said, child, take a sip of this, rather than allowing the child to basically be made fun of, because we never know how the child afterwards feels about going to church where everyone laughed at her. We have to be very careful, and as adults we have to take the responsibility to instruct children how to behave in certain settings where formal rules have to be abided by. The next episode was actually sent to me by one of my followers, and she asked me, what do you think of this? And I was speechless. I think because for many reasons, primarily because I thought how insulting it is to talk like that to the service staff, which was my first reaction. My second reaction was why this video would go viral and become almost like a commonly used phrase. And third was like, why would they select such interesting personalities to become stars for a reality TV show where with this kind of behavior they are setting the norm for acceptable behavior in public so low that, you know, the young generation thinks it's okay to talk to people like that.
Of course. Oh yeah, Amanda, you will like that one. Gorgeous. Do I look like
that's a nice one. Is that where we live? That's here.
And I think this is something that's a general issue and has to be addressed by media in general. We have to make sure that we show the right kind of role models to our young generation. But that's a different story and a difficult topic actually. But in this particular episode, I think the reason I find this phrase very insulting is mostly because the waiter is just doing his job. He's serving everyone a slice of pizza that was ordered at the table. Her reaction is out of ordinary. It could have been just, no thank you, I don't want a slice. Or if he already placed it and she didn't have a chance to tell him not to, then she would just leave it there, not eat it, but just have it there without making a huge deal out of it, a huge fuss out of it. This is how you gently decline a food. You say no thanks or just leave it there. The second important rule of etiquette is at the table when we are enjoying food with others, we forget about dietary restrictions that we have put ourselves onto ourselves. So like self-restrictions. I don't eat carbs, I don't eat I don't do that, unless it's for really strict health reasons or for religious reasons. Just because you took a day off or a week off from something, if you are in public enjoying food with others, you don't talk about your own restrictions or your own diet or your health issues. You just eat whatever you can, and if you can't eat something, you just make it look like, you know, it should not be noticed by others. Because when we bring up these topics at a table, we make others feel uncomfortable, those that are open to consuming carbohydrates or gluten or sugar. We keep all those topics to ourselves and not to others to be shared with. The next episode is actually probably the cringiest thing I've seen online in a really long time. It was sent to me on that day by various followers on my Instagram DM, and everyone asked, what do you think about this episode? And to be honest, I don't have any personal opinion about Meghan Markle. I don't necessarily observe her life in a way. I'm no way to analyze her as a person. I only make judgments based on the body language and how I feel about this particular scene. In this episode, I think what made me feel uncomfortable was the way she handled someone's important event or something that was very dear to someone, how she almost stole the spotlight and kind of changed the whole course of the conversation, taking away that moment of joy from Drew.
Oh, that's beautiful. Nice to meet you, Meg. Oh my gosh. Look at your little face. Oh, that's so sweet. That is so special. I mean, you had it here. Oh.
I was lucky enough
That's really special.
It means so much to me to have met such an incredible human being that transcended everything. It was the honor of my life.
Oh my gosh, well, I will tell H that for sure, and yeah, okay. Cool. Okay.
So in this episode, we see that Drew Barrymore is sharing with Meghan that, you know, it was such an honor of my life when I met Princess Diana and I was a little child. And Meghan takes a look at that. She says, wow, what a moment. And then she like puts it down, and then she just like turns away, puts her face down and says, oh, like I will definitely tell H about this. And to what Drew responds, you can see in her body language, especially in her facial expression, how her nostrils flare up. When it goes up like that, and then like she purses her lips, there is this strong emotion of feeling uncomfortable. There's a contempt. There's a feeling of contempt. There's a feeling of, you know, unease there. And I think that's because the way Meghan reacted to something that she was genuinely sharing, something that she felt was very dear to her. And she was just like, yeah, I'll share it with H when I'm home. And she looks down and like giggles about it, rather than looking in the eye of Drew and saying, this is such an incredible moment. And, you know, I didn't know that you had the chance. I wish I had the chance of meeting her as well. And this is so precious. I'm going to share this with H when I go home. So if she were to lock her eyes with Drew, if she maybe perhaps were to grab her hand and, you know, say how I truly see that this was an important moment for you, and I truly appreciate that you were sharing this with me. But rather, she was almost like mocking her in the moment. And that felt Drew very uncomfortable. And she goes, okay, okay. So for me, I make most of my judgment based on the body language. And if you were to rewatch this episode with this explanation now, you'll see how she made Drew feel very uncomfortable. And the last occurrence to be analyzed for today's video is Haitian president who was giving a speech at the UN, and during his speech he wants to take a sip of water, or rather a gulp of water, and he reaches out and takes the jug and starts sipping from the jug, or drinking from the jug, and he then, I think, realized that there was a glass nearby, and he poured himself a glass and then continued drinking it from the glass. Maybe he was too nervous. Maybe he was so nervous that he didn't see the glass. Maybe he thought, you know, if there's no glass, then I'm supposed to drink from the jug. I don't know what the point was here in this video, but it definitely became very viral and everyone asked me what I thought of that. I always think there's humanity that is more important than just good manners. So of course, good manners is something I endorse, but we also are all humans and we're all capable of making mistakes. But as long as that mistake is corrected throughout the whole course of being there, then I think we can overlook the mistake. So you see how he then reaches out to take a glass. So I understand that he was nervous, and that could have been just because he was not able to see the glass properly being placed there. So I give him, so to speak, a grace. I don't think he needs mine, but I understand why this could be the case. And I think we should just understand that we're all humans and we're all capable of doing something that might not be according to etiquette, but it's also in our best interest to learn how to do things well, to know the rules, so we know how to and when to break them gracefully. Thank you so much for watching this video until the very end. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumbs up, and do let me know down in the comment section below what other video suggestions you have for me. And if you've come across something very interesting on social media or just anywhere on newspapers, media, feel free to send it to my DM on Instagram. You can follow me on Instagram, or you can send it to my email, info@jamilmusayeva.com. If you're interested in learning more about etiquette, you can get my books. They're available on my website for international shipment. You can even get a signed book. Maybe you want to get one for your loved one for a birthday or just as a gift. You can also join my pre-recorded online etiquette courses. You can also join my live webinars, which happen every other week. I announce them always on my social media, mostly on Instagram, but also on YouTube posts. You can also send me your email to info@jamilmusayeva.com, so I can send out the reminders to you when I have live webinars. And if you want to learn even in more depth about etiquette, you can join my Patriot Etiquette Movie Club, where every month I do this kind of analysis, but now for movies. And so far I've done over 40 different movie analysis, and by joining it now, you can actually watch all those movie reviews that are exclusive for my Patreon Etiquette Movie Club. Thank you so much for watching this video until the very end, and I hope to see you in my next one. Bye!